What if I told you that a single football match could change the destiny of nations, rewrite the rulebook, and inspire millions for generations to come? Stay with me because today we're diving into the most iconic matches that didn't just fill stadiums, they shook the world. Football isn't just a sport, it's a story of human struggle, triumph, and unforgettable moments. To understand how certain games became immortal, we first need to explore the backdrop, a world where politics, culture, and passion collide on a green battlefield. The Maracanazo 1950 World Cup Final. Close your eyes and picture Rio de Janeiro, July 16, 1950. The Maracana Stadium, brand new, built as a monument for Brazil to celebrate their inevitable victory. Nearly 200,000 fans filled the stands, men, women, children singing, chanting, already convinced the trophy belonged to them. Brazil only needed a draw to win. The country had declared a holiday. Newspapers had printed headlines celebrating victory before the game even began. The world expected Brazil to conquer, but football doesn't follow scripts. Uruguay, the underdogs, came with nothing to lose. The first half was tense, and when Brazil scored early in the second half, the stadium erupted. It was supposed to be destiny, but Uruguay equalized. And then, in the 79th minute, Alcides Giguia slipped past defenders and struck the ball past the keeper. Silence. Absolute silence. 200,000 voices muted in disbelief. The final whistle blew. Uruguay 2, Brazil 1. That silence was later described as a funeral. Brazil's dream collapsed. For decades, the word Maracanazo, the blow at the Maracana, became a national trauma. It taught the world that in football, there are no guarantees. Fear of defeat is always present, no matter how powerful you think you are. Imagine ordering a birthday cake, candles lit, friends waiting, only for someone to show up and eat it right in front of you. That's how Brazil felt that night. But while Brazil's tears fell in 1950, decades later, another match showed the world the other side of football's unpredictability, the brilliance of one man who could bend the laws of fairness and still be worshipped as a god. The Hand of God, 1986 World Cup. Mexico City, 1986. Argentina versus England. The air was heavy not just with football but with politics. The Falklands War had ended just 4 years earlier and tensions still simmered between the nations. And then came Diego Maradona. In the 51st minute he jumped, punched the ball into the net. The referee, blinded by the crowd, allowed it. Outrage, anger, fear of injustice. England protested, but the goal stood. Maradona later called it the Hand of God. But football has a way of balancing the scales. Just minutes later, Maradona picked up the ball in his own half, dribbled past 5 English players, and scored what is now called the goal of the century. Genius and trickery, villain and hero embodied in a single man, in a single match. It wasn't just football, it was theater. And the world realized that football could be both cruel and divine in the same breath. But if Maradona was a one-man miracle, what about a nation of underdogs armed not with one legend, but with belief alone? Greece versus Portugal, Euro 2004 Final. Lisbon, July 2004. Portugal, the host nation, led by the young Cristiano Ronaldo and legendary Luis Figo. The city buzzed with confidence. The trophy was theirs to take. Against them stood Greece, a team given no chance. The odds were 150 to 1. They weren't supposed to make it out of the group, let alone reach the final. But football thrives on disbelief. Greece played with discipline, unity, and heart. And in the 57th minute, Angelos Charistias rose above everyone to head the ball into the net. Greece 1, Portugal 0. The stadium froze. Portugal pushed, attacked, but Greece held firm. When the final whistle blew, history was made. Greece were champions of Europe. It was David slaying Goliath, live on the biggest stage. For millions of underdogs around the world, that night was proof. Sometimes dreams do come true. Honestly, Greece winning Euro 2004 was like your local pub team beating Manchester City. Impossible? Well, apparently not. But if Greece's story was a miracle of hope, the next one was the darkest nightmare football has ever witnessed. Brazil versus Germany, 2014 World Cup semi-final. Below horizon, July 2014. Brazil hosting the World Cup again. Redemption from 1950 was finally within reach. But what followed wasn't redemption, it was devastation. Germany struck once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in just 29 minutes. Brazil's defense shattered. Fans cried in the stands, some left early, unable to watch. By the end, Germany had scored 7 goals. Brazil managed only 1. Final score, 7-1. The world didn't just witness a defeat, it witnessed the collapse of an entire footballing empire. For Brazil, it was humiliation on home soil. For Germany, it was ruthless efficiency. For the rest of us, it was history in real time, a reminder that even the greatest can fall in spectacular fashion. But from the ashes of despair, football has a way of resurrecting hope. And in 2005, in Istanbul, we saw exactly that. Liverpool versus AC Milan, 2005 Champions League Final. Istanbul, May 25, 2005. The Champions League Final, AC Milan, giants of Europe facing Liverpool. By halftime, Milan were leading 3-0. Most fans thought the game was over. Some Liverpool supporters even started leaving the stadium. But then came 6 minutes of magic. Gerrard scored, Smicer followed, Alonso equalized, 3 goals in 6 minutes. The impossible became reality. The match went to penalties. Liverpool triumphed. It became known as the Miracle of Istanbul. It wasn't just a comeback, it was proof that even when all hope is lost, belief can change everything. It was football's greatest resurrection. Imagine being a Milan fan. You went to bed celebrating a 3-0 lead and woke up realizing you had lived through the greatest collapse in football history. These matches remind us that football isn't only about goals, it's about life itself. The fear of failure, the excitement of triumph, the urgency to seize the moment. Each iconic game carved lessons that go beyond sport: resilience, belief, and the power of unity. If you found inspiration in these unforgettable games, then you'll love what's next. Because the same principles that fuel football's greatest moments. Click the end screen and watch my new video. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.